A month away from midterm elections, the latest Wall Street Journal NBC poll finds an electorate that's underwhelmed with the campaign, fed up with the whole political class, and not very happy with President Obama, who gets dismal approval ratings on foreign policy. For more on the results of the latest campaign poll, we're joined by Janet Hook in Washington. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning, Michael.
Hey, so voters would put Republicans in control of Congress, but only by a thin margin. Is this a pro-GOP bias or an anti-Democrat thing?
Well, it's probably a little bit of both. I think it's interesting because we look to polls often just for kind of the score, like who's winning and who's losing. And our poll did show, as you suggested, that voters were favoring a Republican-controlled Congress over a Democratic one by 2 points, which is pretty small, but it is an advantage. But probably the whole rest of the polls suggests that there's a lot of discontent with both parties.
Now, for President Obama, though, a 31% approval rating, and it sounds as if foreign policy is a factor here. It was his strong point, we were led to believe, going into the presidential elections. What's happened there, and what are the numbers telling us?
But actually, that 31% approval rating, that is specifically on foreign policy. His overall approval rating is a little higher, but not a great approval rating. And, you know, he's just had a whole year practically of international incidents and issues to deal with, over which he actually has very little control. You know, Russia invading Ukraine, the surge of ISIS, Islamic rebels into Syria and Iraq. I think people have been underwhelmed by his response to those crises. And I think that has been a big factor in his overall approval rating not showing any movement upward.
And it turns out that Ebola is something that the electorate is paying quite a bit of attention to. Tell us what we're finding there in terms of the poll.
Yeah, actually, we do this question in most of our polls. We ask how aware people are of major news events. And this time, the question we asked was, are you aware, have you heard or read about the spread of the Ebola virus? And 98% of the people we polled had read or heard something about it. And that's higher than any other major news event we've polled on over the last 10 years.
Probably the most material aspect of it, of course, is the predictions that may or may not lie in there for the midterm elections. How much confidence can the GOP have in these results? Or does it really look like it could be anybody's call?
Well, you know, everything is really close. You know, our overall generic rating is very close. And this poll doesn't look state by state, but if you know, the state by state polling is on the key Senate races, they're all very close. So there is this feeling of things just sort of teetering on the edge and you don't know which way they're going to fall. There's a general sense that most of them are going to fall in the direction of the Republican candidates. But our poll is conducted by both a Republican and a Democratic polling firm, and both of them, the Republican as well as the Democrat, thought that there's, as he put it, a joker in the deck here. You just don't know. That the one thing that seems likely is that there are going to be some surprises on Election Day.
And what do the results tell us about Americans' view of Congress and Washington in general?
Oh, lower than ever. The congressional approval rating is down to 12%. That's 12%, which is, it ties the lowest rating we've ever recorded for Congress.
All right, Janet, thanks very much for your help.